Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Cole Obarts Entertainment, providing amusement, celebration, and distraction since 2013. To find out more, visit us on the web at www.coleobartsent.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I'm your host, Kathy Blaze. Today we have one of our returning guests from season 1. He's done a lot out there this year, so we want to bring him back so he could give you an update on his year. Let's welcome filmmaker, Mr. John Kestner. Hello there, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Such a pleasure, such a pleasure. You're wearing my favorite color today.
Just happenstance.
So, John, you have been pretty busy out there this year, making moves, winning awards,
Yes.
making your actors happy because
Yeah.
they're winning awards.
Oh, I know. That's the happiest part for me is to see other people, win awards. Because I say the first film, but I mean the first film of the past year. 2 actors who had never acted before won awards. In fact, our lead actress, Audrey Bennett, won 6 awards.
Wow.
4 from LA, 1 from New York, and 1 from Spain.
Congratulations.
And she's never acted before.
Congratulations.
So, and then our voiceover guy won an award, and then in the last film, 3 of the actors won. So.
Okay. So, and this last year, you had 2 films,
So far.
correct?
Yes.
That made it through the film festival circuit.
It's still going on.
It's
so,
still
yeah,
going on.
We started in about February, so we're still hearing back from a couple in the next
Let's
couple
talk
months.
about the first one,
Hanging Buddy.
Hanging Buddy. Just give us a small gist of that film.
It's a comedy about a trans person. I had read that they wanted to use cadavers' penises in Asia. They're working on this to facilitate sex change operations, and the idea struck me that I don't know if I can say this, but the little head thinks for the big head. That's a male term, and having a real little head now. This person wakes up from their surgery and now they have another voice in their head talking to them.
Okay.
So it starts a dialogue between basically the
Okay.
person and their...
So this was a comedy.
Yes.
Okay. So Hanging Buddy, how did it do out in the film festivals?
Well, when we did it, I told everybody on the film, I said, don't be surprised if this gets canceled and shunned, and because you just don't know in today's cancel culture.
Right.
But it's done amazingly well. It's won over 30 awards. It's played
That's
in
awesome.
Europe and India and here, and so it's done really, really well. So.
Well, you know what? That's wonderful. First off, it's art, okay? And if the intention is for it to be art, not to be hurtful to anyone, and I don't believe that was your intention to be hurtful. It was a comedy. So I think people saw it in that fashion, that it was a comedy.
Well, they laughed.
Uh-huh.
So I've seen it it screened in Hollywood in September, and then I was in Sholo last month, and it screened in Peoria.
Okay.
It'll be at Night of Misfit Films later this month.
Oh, okay.
Both films actually will be playing there.
Is that this month?
Yes, it's Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be screening later this month with the other film, and so far, everyone's laughed, and so they got it. So.
Right. Tell us, who are the actors in this film?
In Hanging Buddy, Audrey Bennett. Actually, she's never acted before. I had real trouble finding an actress that would do this. We were turned down by a lot of people. I was looking at puppets online. It's like, if I can't get an actress to do it, I'll get a puppet. And when Audrey stepped up and said, "I'll do it," and I said, "Have you ever acted before?" She goes, "No, but I'll do it."
If I ask, is Audrey trans?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No, she's not. But she showed up and nailed it and did it.
Wow.
So
Well, that's great.
So she's in the second film too. She has a small role in the second film. So and we're working on more stuff for her.
Okay, were there other local actors that I may know that was in Hanging Buddy?
That Gloria Jean Robertson was in it.
She was in it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she plays the mother.
Oh, okay.
Ben Jewell.
Yes.
You know Ben?
Yes.
Ben was on the crew, and after talking to him one night, I'm like, this guy's the father. He's the dad. And he did a great job. And and the rest of them, for the most part, we're new.
Okay.
We're new.
Well, again, congratulations on the awards that you won for this film and your second film. Tell us a little bit about that.
And it's called Beverly Ever After. It's about a young scientist who's going to propose to his girlfriend, and he experiments with time travel. And the night he's going to propose, he gets visited by his future self to stop him from proposing. And then a little later, he's visited by his future ex-wife, who also is trying to stop him from proposing. And he thinks he can fix everything. So, and it's just back and forth.
And where did this idea come from, this film?
That idea came from, two middle-aged divorced guys, having dinner, and, I forget which one of us said, Bill Pierce was the other guy. And we have these conversations, and he's like, I forget who asked it, but, it's like, if you could go back in the past and warn yourself about getting married, knowing what was happening, would you do it? And just follow up, would you listen to yourself from the future or try to think you could change it? So, and it just, by the time I got home that night, I was like, I had the whole script. I just wrote it out.
That's awesome.
So,
can you imagine all the stuff we chat about or think about? I mean, we could have tons of films out there
definitely.
out of our heads.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I always think in that frame of mind anyway. So any conversation I have, it's like, hey, you know what, that would be it. And then,
So, and this film has done very well out in the film circuit, the festival circuit as well.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. And it's still in the running for other festivals.
So what do you think, these two films were so successful? Because I've seen social media just hot and lit up with you guys with awards and talking about these films. Why do you think they were so hot this
Well, they're
year?
very professionally done. And I mean, we just have a team, a very small team actually, of people. Justin Moscow is our DP and editor and music and sound and just about everything else. And he just is, one-man band. I mean, he makes them look really good. Okay. Everything looks good. And you just have to have the right people, the right combination.
Right.
And then also there's a local, the way they do films now is you have to have a file for the projection system in theaters. So you have to have a particular file made, and there's a local service called Phoenix DCP, and they did the DCPs for it. And the first time I saw our films on the big screen, the first one was at the Chinese theaters in Hollywood in September, and I just was blown away by the picture and the sound, and it's like, wow, these look awesome.
So all the technical stuff it sounds like it was amazing. But as far as the content, what was it that you think about the content that people were so accepting of it?
Accepting of it? I don't.
Well,
you never know how. Yeah, you never know how it's going to go. Use the
word accepting. Why did they catch it? Why was it such a success? People showed up and they enjoyed it.
I think if you have a solid idea, because before I go into anything, I make sure the script is as rock solid as it can be, and then you get feedback and. There's three parts of filming to make a film. I think you have the writing part, and you just completely exhaust that to make it as good as you can, and then the filming part, and with the actors that I've worked with, and I'm very open to ideas. So if they'll come to me and say, "Hey, what if I did this?" or what if this happened? And I mean, so far the ideas have just really helped it. So in the second part, it becomes something else, and then in the editing part. It's now another process. So you have these three processes, and then you get to the end of it, and hopefully but you have to be a little fluid.
So, as the writer, as the producer, were you pleased with your final?
Oh yeah, because you see it one way when you write it, and then you see actors and you see people there doing it, and then it really becomes something else.
Came alive.
And when you see the actors inhabiting these characters that you only imagined up to that point,
Right.
really special. And then when it finishes, and then you have somebody like Justin who just makes it look like as good as anything that comes off of either coast.
Right.
It's like I'm blown away.
That's amazing, and it's always great to see that. And because you know what, as a writer and a producer, you've done your part, and you've selected your actors and your team, so you're leaving it out there for them to do their job, which they did an amazing job. So one of your actors, Gloria Jean Robertson, she was in both of the films.
Both of them, yeah.
I saw her posting her awards the other day, which it's great to see her out there flourishing, because I remember Gloria from years back, and she had taken a little hiatus, and it's good to see her out there doing it.
Well, she's very talented.
Yeah, she is.
So yeah, you want that.
Right.
And I've always thought that. I thought that a long time ago. I saw her in films, and I thought, I think in the case of Phoenix, that the actors are better than their films, and I've always wanted to do more, so that they could, to make them shine more in better roles.
And one of the things that I love about Gloria is a very diverse actress, and she can play the role of the mother. She can play the role of the sexy girlfriend, a lawyer. I've seen her playing a mobster. I mean, she is a very diverse actress. Yeah. And I love that, being a middle-aged woman, she's not allowing her age to hold her back. Because she's out there getting those roles and doing what she loves to do.
Yeah.
And I love that you gave her that you were giving her that opportunity to showcase her talent also.
Well, after Hanging Buddy, when we had the conversation, I had the conversation with Bill that sparked Beverly Ever After. I thought, well, this is going to be a great opportunity, because Gloria's daughter was actually in Hanging Buddy too.
Oh, okay.
And I thought this would be a great chance to have the same character played by two different women at two different points in time.
Right.
So it was just,
So her daughter played
her daughter's playing a younger version of her in Beverly Ever After. Yeah.
Is her daughter an actress also?
I believe Hanging Buddy was her first film.
Okay.
So, but I think so. But there were several people on that one that it was their first time, and it's just
some people are just natural.
Some people just they just like, wow, okay, let's do more with them, because.
Right. So where do you want to see these films go next? What's next for these two films?
These two films, once we're done with the festival circuit, I'm probably just put them online.
Oh, okay.
The company that I have is called Cavity Search Pictures.
Oh, okay.
And have a page for them, and then just have them there.
Oh, okay.
So, and we're just going forward with making. We finished another. We finished a faith-based short in September.
Oh, okay.
And then I have a dozen short scripts, and I have some features too that I'd like to do.
So you're just keeping it going.
Keep going and see what happens next.
That is awesome. So you're creative. What is your goal? Your ultimate goal? Where do you see yourself? Let's say in 5 years, with your filmmaking.
I don't know. I just I will do what we're doing and just see where it goes. I don't know what I'm doing the next 5 days, so I'm still working on that. But I don't know. It's just these films. During COVID, I had to stay home for a couple years, and that allowed me to catch up financially. And then I was at the Sholo Film Festival, and the Martina, the lady that runs that, just said, "You need to start making films." Because I wrote for years and years and years.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay. So, it was, then I realized, like, you get the right team. The technology's certainly become more available to people who don't have a lot of resources.
Right.
So you just have to really find talented actors and have some good ideas.
Right. What are you most passionate about in this industry, John?
I don't know. I've always written. I love directing, and I love working with the people that I'm working with to do this stuff, because it really, and it may take a long time for people who want to get in and do things like this.
Right.
It may take a while to link up with the people who are going to make it happen the way you want to do it, and to get the results you want. It may take a long time. I made my first short 10 years ago, and until last year I hadn't made another one. So now there's 3.
Why do you think it took you so long?
Well, the local film scene here is kind of a quirky bunch, and you run into. I always said, if the people in this valley made a film about what they do to try to make a film, then they'd have something people would want to see, because of all the drama and all the everything that went on, the personalities.
Is there something you can do?
What's that?
Is that something you're going to do?
Yeah, probably eventually. Yeah, I have enough material, that's for sure. But there are a lot of personalities, a lot of different people, and a lot of people who don't really have realistic expectations of what it takes to to make a film.
Right.
And
see, and you know what? And we probably talked about this on season 1. You've been here for quite a while. And there's always something going on, a conference, festivals or something. And speaking of what you just said, people don't have the idea. Do they don't have the idea, or are they just taking shortcuts? Because there's always something, training or teaching, or even if they wanted to come sit on a set with shadow a John Kestner or something, if they really wanted to. Do you think it's less that they're taking shortcuts than they don't understand?
Yeah, I think shortcuts is a good way to put it. Is that it looks very easy to produce. It looks very easy to direct, and it must look really easy to write, but it's not. And people haven't done their homework. They haven't. They're not doing.
Even being an actor, people think, oh, that's easy. You know what? It's not as easy as you think it is. No. I mean, you're sitting on that side looking in until you have to sit and study, do the work, invest, and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy.
Oh, I'm in awe of actors. Yeah. I really am. I just sit and watch what they do and how it comes alive and how it comes across on a screen, and I'm just like, that's amazing. It really is.
Right. So what is it that you would suggest? I know you said perhaps making a film showing what it's all about. Do you think that still would help the situation, or what?
It might some, but I mean, you just don't know. There's a lot of people that say, well, I can do that,
Yeah.
And I think I may have said it in the first season, but the biggest problem is that nothing I see local or independent starts with a script. It's always, hey, I know this guy who can do this, and this person will be on the crew, and this person wanted to act, and then it's like, then they get everybody together, and it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? It's like, somebody write a script. Get this guy over here. I've got great ideas, and he ends up, writing Pulp Fiction again, and it's like, wait a minute, this was The Crow, or this was, you're ripping off. It's not.
Right.
I read scripts for a festival once. They asked me to be a judge, and I read about over a dozen, and one of them was decent, but the rest of them were just a slasher movie. It was for a horror festival, and they were just the worst, job of being a slasher script. That wasn't. None of them were very good at all. I mean, they were always trying to be something else.
Okay.
So I guess trying to find having a voice, and finding that voice and coming up with something.
And if you just started off, you're going to make those type of mistakes, but it's all about educating yourself and learning
Yeah.
for that next step.
Well, they need to know film.
Right.
And I don't mean when I say, have you ever seen an old movie? I don't, they can't say Avatar, you know, I've never seen a black and white movie. You know, I mean, you need to
Right.
know what's been done. You need to know the history.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I see that a lot, that they don't know anything about film, but they want to write or direct or produce a film. It's like,
Right.
you don't know anything about, you've never bothered. You know, if you watch all the Transformers movies, that doesn't make you, you know, Cecil B.
Make
DeMille.
you a subject matter expert on the filmmaking.
You're not
huh?
Stanley Kubrick because you got, you know, all the Transformer movies on DVD.
Right. So, John, where can our audience find you?
Well, I'm on social media on Facebook and Instagram. I just realized I've done nothing with the Cavity Search Pictures page on Facebook, so I'm going to rectify that and update that and put everything on there. But I can be found simply on Facebook and Instagram right now.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. It was such a pleasure.
Well, thank you. It's always great.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on Desertwood Days, and we'll catch you next time.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Cole, Obarts Entertainment. Providing amusement, celebration, and distraction since 2013. To find out more, visit us on the web at www.coleobartsent.com.